Yo, what's up guys, it's Nick. Just bringing you my build for Path of Exile 0.3. It is a build in progress as I continue to play and pump more currency into it. It is a Galvanic Shards Gemling Legionaire. It's been really fun so far. Very low button pressing and super good for blasting. I just need to let you guys know that this is an expensive build, so you will need to spend quite a few divines to get this build going. Please don't try and do it on the cheap, it's going to feel terrible. But the scaling is really good, so if you're the type of person that only likes to play one character a league, then I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun with this one. Essentially what we're doing here is stacking attributes for crazy damage, attack speed and defenses, and it's basically just an infinite currency sink. So if you love to just pump money into your build, and a build where you can basically feel all of your upgrades, then you're going to really enjoy this one. So let's talk about why Galvanic Shards. So Galvanic Shards did get changed this patch. The old Galvanic Shards had a reload penalty, as did all the crossbows. It used to load 5 bolts per clip and fired 6 fragments per shot. The new one now fires 8 fragments per shot, which is with quality, but only has 1 bolt per clip. And we also got giant damage increase in terms of scaling. So if you don't know, Galvanic Shards is a skill that shoots out a bunch of fragments. When those fragments hit an enemy, they shoot out a beam of lightning, and it's the beam of lightning that does the damage carrying in terms of the build. So those beams of lightning have gone from 156% to 272%, and the fragment damage has gone from 31% to 54%. As well as the fact that we don't have a reload penalty now, means that Galvanic Shards is most definitely on the menu. Why Gemling? So in this build, we're making use of Constricting Command, which says requires 5 fewer enemies to be surrounded, which means you are always surrounded. So that means all these nodes here about being surrounded, increased attack speed, increased attack damage, regen, evasion, roll distance, movement speed are applicable at all times while you are wearing this helmet, which is really good. This also gives us access to a support gem called Defy, which means our attack damage is lucky. And for those of you that don't know what lucky means, is the number is rolled twice and it picks the higher of the value, which basically kind of works out to effectively 33% increased damage, as well as the fact that insufficient mana doesn't allow us to stop using our skills, so we don't have to worry about mana. Positioning in the tree in terms of reaching those surrounded nodes, we've obviously got the attribute nodes at the bottom because we are attribute stacking as well. And there's just loads of really useful survivability nodes and damage nodes. I just think it's excellent in terms of where it's situated in the tree. Secondly, in terms of why Gemling as an ascendancy choice, there's quite a few reasons. So first of all, we're able to get +2 all skill gems with a dex requirement. Galvanic Shards has ridiculous scaling with gem levels. At level 26, which would be obviously a level 20 skill gem and +6 from your crossbow, your damage scaling goes from 400% to 455%. That's for the lightning beams. The fragment damage will increase from 80% to 91%, as well as the fact that it's also giving +2 to basically all of your other support gems, as we're basically making use of mostly dex gems anyway, is a big power increase. Secondly, and this is quite a big one, is the fact that we're getting +10 quality to all skills. So what this means is we're actually getting another projectile for Galvanic Shards. We're getting 6 from the skill itself, and then 2 from the quality on the gem, and then 1 from taking this ascendancy node as well, which is absolutely ridiculous. Herald of Thunder is also going to give us an extra lightning bolt strike, which is also absolutely obscene, and a load of other benefits. Just overall quality is just an absolutely valuable tool. We're also getting crit immunity, which is amazing. We don't have to invest in any crit reduction, because the majority of our gems are going to be red. As you can see here, 17 are red, so we are crit immune. And here we are gaining 20% damage per red support, 6% skill speed per green, and 20% crit chance per blue. The insane amount of action speed is really helpful. In contrast to if you were playing something like Witch Hunter is okay with Culling Strike, Decimating Strike, and the Explode, but just overall Gemling, it has better scaling. How does the build play? So as you've seen from the gameplay, it's 2-button mapping using Galvanic Shards on packs, and when you need to boss, you're going to use your Stormcaller arrow to apply shock, and then you'll switch to shock burst rounds and you'll just blow the bosses up nice and easy. So let's talk a little bit about how we are scaling the build. So we are attribute stacking, of course, so you can see we've got 300 of every attribute, What does Dex give us? So Dex is giving us 1% attack speed per 20 dexterity. That's coming from Hands of Wisdom in action. We're also getting 1% increased attack speed per 25 dex from this node here, Falcon Technique. We're also getting 1% attack speed per 250 accuracy. If you have a look at how much accuracy we have, 4009 accuracy rating. And then we also take this node here, which gives us a crazy amount of ailment immunity. So it's actually giving us over 2200 ailment immunity, which is essentially making us ailment immune. Now you might be asking, with all this attack speed and the fact that Galvanic Shards only has 1 bolt per clip, how are we sustaining this? Well, we're using Aryan's Medal, which gives us a 35% chance to load a crossbolt on dealing a killing blow. So essentially, when you are clearing high density content like Delirium, Breach, Expedition, you basically are never reloading and you're constantly just firing off and doing crazy amounts of damage. Even when you do need to reload, you have so much attack speed, so much skill speed that the reload time is 0.5 seconds. So you basically don't even feel it in maps. Strength is giving us 2 health per 1 point of strength, and intelligence is giving us 1 to 10 lightning damage added to attacks per 20 int. It's also giving us 2% increased lightning damage per 10 int through this anointed pure power, and we are getting 1% evasion per 2 int by using this jewel called Heroic Tragedy. So using Heroic Tragedy, we're able to get access to Nightly Tenets, which basically means that int no longer gives us mana, but instead gives us 1% increased evasion rating per 2 int. Now, obviously that would be a problem because we need mana to cast our abilities, but if you have a look at Defy 2, it says insufficient mana doesn't prevent the use of supported skills while surrounded. So we can completely forgo any investment into mana and mana regen because you can just fire your Galvanic Shards without having to worry about mana, while also getting insane defensive scaling as well as damage scaling from int, which is absolutely amazing. Just beware that if you're buying this, it does need to be Olroth. The number doesn't matter. Please don't buy one that's the same number as mine because it will be different. But just bear in mind that the number that you do buy will change the notable passives here. So you'll see this has changed to Mercenary's Lot, which gives 10% attack speed and stun threshold. There's some super good ones. If you look here, you can see this things like 40% increased evasion and resistances. So just shop around and find one that you like and one that you're happy with. This gem placement here is a Time Lost Emerald. The Time Lost Emerald is giving us increased small passive effectiveness, which is increasing these small nodes, if, as you can see, 25% increase the damage while surrounded to 30% while surrounded, as well as all of these here. And the notables are giving us attack speed, and the small passives are giving us more evasion. So any small bit of flat evasion is going to be scaled up to the moon because of the Timeless Jewel that we have over here. Now, with your gear, you will need to be using a Hands of Wisdom in action, as well as a Constricting Commander. These two are non-negotiable. My rings are pretty terrible. As you can see, you can definitely get better rings than these. You'd ideally want flat damage and attributes on them while making sure to balance your resistances. One of the good things about this build is that Headhunter will be amazing on it. So when you farm up enough currency, if you would love to use Headhunter, it fits in like a glove. Otherwise, you can use Ingenuity and scale up your rings for more attributes, which will be great too. If you have a look at the crossbow, you definitely want a Gemini crossbow, or at least a crossbow that loads an additional bolt, because if you're using a crossbow that only has 1 bolt in it, the skill's not going to feel great. The most important thing on here is just flat physical, flat lightning damage, and then plus to proj or plus to all attack skills is insane as well. So that is about it, guys, in terms of how the build functions essentially. The build is quite complicated, so if you have questions, you're more than welcome to leave them in the comments below. There's a lot of unique interactions here, so the build is pretty easy to mess up. So please be careful if you're copying my POB, which you'll be able to find in the description below. But yeah, guys, ultimately, I hope that this has been helpful. Hopefully, you've been made aware of some cool new interactions. And if the video was helpful, then I'd really appreciate if you could consider subscribing and leaving a thumbs up. But yep, I wish you guys all the best for 0.3. I'll keep you guys updated with how this build progresses as well if you guys are interested. And yeah, other than that, guys, hope you have a great day and you drop a bunch of divines. Cheers.